know the drill. A few weeks ago, I put out a video for you guys showing you some $5 dinner ideas, and you guys really loved that video. One of our friends on here reached out and asked if I could do this again, but switch it up a little bit. So her idea was that I start with a set budget. $20, $25, $30, and so on. So I took her idea and I started at the lowest point, which was $20. I sat down, got to work, and I'm happy to report that I came up with 5 different dinner ideas that you can head to Walmart right now in 2024 with a $20 bill and make at home. So I have a little grocery haul to show you guys first, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, friends, so let's go ahead and jump into this tiny but mighty grocery haul. I chose to go with Walmart once again just to make sure that it was a store that almost everybody had available to them. Everything that you see on the table before you came in at $20.17 before tax. Now, something that I want to mention before we deep dive a little bit deeper is that these are just ideas, y'all. This is not meant to be something that you follow weekly. These are just meal ideas to get you through a pinch if you need to save $1 here and there for whatever the reason may be. Starting in the back here, I went ahead and I picked up 1 bag of broccoli cuts. I picked up 1 pre-made salad, and I chose to go with the chef salad because it gave me different meat options in here. We have some turkey and some ham. We are going to deconstruct this salad and use different parts of this for different recipes. I have 2 baking potatoes up here, 1 package of noodles, and I did make a point to pick these up over in the Hispanic section because this bag of noodles comes in at 48 cents opposed to if you bought a bag of Great Value noodles for like 98 cents. We have 1 pound of rice, 1 package of corn tortillas, a 6 count of eggs. I went ahead and picked up this cornbread mix this time because it was a little bit cheaper than the Jiffy cornbread mix. Moving over and starting over here, I went ahead and picked up 2 cans of chicken, 1 8-ounce block of cheese. You could pick up any cheese of your choice. I picked up 1 package of beef chorizo. I have 2 cans of chili beans here. One is a hot chili beans and one is a regular, but honestly, you could mix or match however you would like. I have never seen the hot chili beans before in my store, so I wanted to pick that up and give it a try. I have 2 small cans of tomato sauce up here, 1 can of cream of chicken, and a small can of corn. On to our first dinner, we are having some rice and chorizo tostadas. So I went ahead and took half of a cup of that dried rice, popped that into my pan back here, and seasoned it up with whatever seasonings I could find in my pantry. Doesn't have to be fancy or over the top. I went ahead and added 1 cup of water to that, got the lid on, and set a timer for 18 minutes. While my rice was cooking, I went ahead and I took 10 of those corn tortillas from our package and started frying those up in a skillet of oil. If you didn't want to have to fuss with frying your tortillas, you definitely could brush them lightly with some butter or some oil and pop those into the oven and let them get nice and toasty on each side. But once I was able to achieve that, I went ahead and pulled those tortillas out, put them on a paper towel just so that all that excess oil could drain off. I went ahead and took half of that chorizo, got that into my skillet, fried it up nice and well. Then by this time my rice was done, so I went ahead and took my rice and mixed it in with my chorizo. I went ahead and deconstructed my salad kit on this night. I went ahead and took the lettuce out of it and the ranch container. I did find some hot sauce packets hidden in the back of my refrigerator, so I decided to go ahead and mix those in with the ranch and make some spicy ranch, as my kids called it. I went ahead and took 1/3 of that block of cheese that we bought, shredded it up, and by this time it was time to assemble these tostadas and make dinner plates. Moving on to our second dinner, we decided to have a skillet potato quiche. This one was really fast and easy. I took those 2 potatoes that we had bought, went ahead, sliced them, diced them, gave them a good rinse, and added those back to my skillet with a little bit of oil just to coat all of those potatoes. Once again, I seasoned them up with whatever I could find in the pantry. Popped these into the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 to 45 minutes, just until those potatoes got fork tender. I took 5 of our eggs from that carton and added in 1/4 cup of milk, but you could use water if you needed to substitute it as well. Gave those eggs a really good mix and poured those over our potatoes. I went ahead and went in with the remaining items in our salad kit, which was our cheese, our ham, and our turkey, and sprinkled that over the top. Pop this back into the oven at 350 degrees as well for about 30 minutes, just until those eggs set. Once we were able to achieve that, it was time to make dinner plates, and I just served ours along with some leftover rolls that we had from Easter. This one was absolutely delicious and would make a really great breakfast or brunch idea as well. Moving on to dinner idea number 3, I wanted something really fast and easy tonight, so we are having a cheesy chicken and broccoli rice casserole. Try to say that 3 times fast. So I'm starting out with 1 cup of rice, and in my measuring cup back here, I have 2 cups of water. I'm taking that 1 can of cream of chicken and I'm getting that added to the water and just mixing it up really well. I'm going to take all of this liquid and pour it over the top of my rice, and this would be a really great opportunity to season up this mixture however you wanted, whether it was just salt and pepper or playing around with whatever spices you might have in your pantry. I went ahead and took that bag of broccoli and I did put it in the microwave for a couple of minutes just to kind of help defrost it a little bit. I'm going in with 1 of our cans of chicken and getting that added to the casserole dish. I did try to break that chicken up the best that I could. And then I'm just going to take a second and get this all mixed together. Yet again, I am going in with 1/3 of our cheese from our cheese block, and I did shred that up. So I'm adding about half of that cheese now on top of this mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it all in together. I'm going to pop this into the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes, just until most of that liquid cooks off of my rice and my rice is nice and tender. So once I was able to achieve that, I went back in with the remaining cheese and sprinkled that over the top. Now I will say this isn't a necessity, but I was digging around in my pantry and did find a package of Ritz crackers. So in the name of the game of trying to save a few bucks and use up things that we have on hand, I did go ahead and smush up those crackers and mix those up with a little bit of melted butter, and then I sprinkled that on top of the cheese. I popped everything back into the oven long enough to help the cheese get melted and those Ritz crackers get nice and toasty, and then it was time to make dinner plates, y'all. And even though this one isn't the most eye-pleasing, it really was good and it was nice and comforting. It was kind of a bit chilly tonight, so it was just a good meal all the way around. All right, friends, so on to dinner number 4. Tonight we are having a enchilada lasagna. I'm taking 1 of those cans of chili beans. Tonight I decided to go with the hot and spicy. I am taking my immersion blender to those and just getting those mixed up really well so that we can have some refried beans. I am taking the last bit of rice that we have in our bag, which was half of a cup. I added a cup of water to that, popped the lid on, and set it for a timer of 18 minutes. While our rice is cooking, I went ahead and went back to our refried beans, and I'm adding in the last can of chicken that we have as well. I'm going to take my fork to it, do the best that I can to get rid of any of the large chunks, and just get that mixed in really well. And now it is time to put together this lasagna. I am starting with some of those refried beans on the bottom. I'm going in with the last bit of corn tortillas that we have left, which was 8 corn tortillas, placing a layer of those down, and then I'm going to go back in with some more refried beans. To the top of this, I'm going to add in some rice, and we are down to the last bit of cheese that we have left as well. So I went ahead and shredded that up, and now I'm going to just layer that cheese in too. Now I will say, my soon-to-be 13-year-old son Levi said that this meal was absolutely delicious. Now that says 1 or 2 things. That means that 13-year-olds are either walking garbage disposals or the meal really did taste pretty good. I will say I liked it. My only complaint was I thought it was a bit dry. So when I go to make this again, I probably will just completely omit the chicken and substitute that with a can of enchilada sauce. So if you decide to make this, you know, I would would suggest that you go ahead and omit the chicken and replace it with a can of enchilada sauce. I think you would like it a lot better that way, but if you wanted to spring for a little bit extra on the cost, you could add in the chicken and the enchilada sauce. So after I got this all layered up, I went ahead and popped this into the oven at 350 degrees, just long enough for everything to start bubbling around the sides. That way I had a good indication that all the cheese was melted in the middle. And then it was time to plate up dinner plates. And once again, it is not the most eye-catching meal, but it fed bellies, and that's what was important. Friends, we are so close to wrapping up this dinner challenge. We are at the home stretch, so moving into dinner number 5. Tonight we are having some chili mac with cornbread. So I am just following the directions on my cornbread mix, using up that last egg that we had left over in our 6-count carton, mixing that up, getting it popped into the oven, so on and so forth. While that's in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and get my noodles into my hot water, get those boiled up, and once those are boiled, I'm just gonna set those to the side and let them chill and wait for me. This meal came together so quickly. I'm talking 10-15 minutes, if that. So after I got my noodles done, I went in with the other half of my chorizo, got that added to my pot and cooked up. Then it was just a matter of opening cans and getting everything dumped in. So I have 2 cans of tomato sauce that I'm adding. I'm going in with that can of corn that I did drain. And lastly, going in with that other can of chili beans. I didn't bother to take any of the liquid off. There was lots of good flavor in there. So I got that added in, gave everything a good mix. Went back to my noodles, got my noodles added in there, gave everything a really good mix once again. And at this point, it kind of is preference. If you want to add some water to thin it out, you definitely can. And then it was just time to serve up dinner plates and call it good. This one was really good. It had a hint of spice, but it wasn't too overpowering. And all in all, it was a really good meal. Well, friends, that's going to wrap it up for today. I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I had a blast with you guys as always. I know these meals weren't fancy and over the top, but they were warm, they filled bellies, and sometimes that's what counts. If you or somebody you know is struggling with food insecurities, I want you to check out that description box below. I have linked a really helpful website that will help you locate local food pantries and churches in your area that will help with this. This is not sponsored. This is something that I took time out of my day to find and locate to be a source of helpfulness to somebody in need. If you really enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. But until next time, I'll see you later, my friends.